You're a prominent figure in Russian politics. You've influenced the ideology there. You're known as a conservative and a traditionalist, but we'd like to hear you summarize your view of the situation in Russia and the geopolitical situation in the world. A lot of your views do not get spread out in the West. Many people are not aware of what you do and say.
Okay. First of all, thank you for your invitation to speak with you. And first of all, I know that in the West and in the USA, my views are very explained in very perverted manner. So the people have a completely distorted image of what I am making and what I am doing. So as well as we have very distorted image of my country, Russia, of our president, Mr. Putin. And I think there are deep reasons for that. That first of all, Western civilization always regards the other, the figure of the other, as or the same as the Western society, culture, values, or something that is inferior to the West. The best examples that the West recognizes as something important is that resembles the West, and all that doesn't resemble the West is considered to be a kind of subhuman civilization, underdeveloped civilization, is a kind of ethnocentric attitude, absolutely inherent to the Western understanding of the world, and that is as well as unconscious racism. That is not evident not only in the biological racist concept of the Western authors, but as well in the liberal attitude, in the normal everyday life. And when the Western people ask from time to time why they hate us, they forget that the West is hated because of this racist attitude to the other. So the concept of the other is completely negative. The otherness of the other is not recognized as positive ontological essence, as something that could be evaluated, that the West can not understand that we can be other, not being inferior or the same. That was very important. So we could be other, not being inferior, and at the same time not being the same as the West. So I think that it's very important. And that short explanation or introduction to my system of views. So I consider Russia as very particular civilization. I strongly believe in the multitude of civilization and multitude of the system of values. And I am the follower of Franz Boas anthropological concept, American author Franz Boas, that affirmed, who was European Jews emigrated in the United States, who has created anthropological school in the United States of cultural anthropology, and he affirmed a kind of equality between the cultures. So we could not understand and judge one culture of being situated in another one. So the West could not understand absolutely anything in Russian civilization, in Islamic civilization, in Indian civilization, in African civilization, or Chinese or Polynesian, and so on, being being Western. So in order to understand other, we need to put aside a kind of make kind of abdication from our identity and enter in the completely different context. So it is necessary anthropological demand in order to study the other civilization. I like, my vision is to apply this approach of cultural anthropology to the study of civilizations. And I defend the right to be other for Muslims, for Jews, for Africans, for Indians, but as well for Russians. And if we are other, if we Russians are the particular civilization, we have our manner to estimate, to understand, and to evaluate ourselves as well as others. So we have the right to be different, and we should recognize to be different from the other people and civilization. That is very important. And when the West try to define my position, it is completely accusation of racist, ethnocentric Western civilization that strongly believe that there is only one way of development, only one type of time, only one type of space, only one type of science, and everything should be judged starting from the recognition of this uniqueness of the Western understanding of the things. And when someone, for example, in such situation, myself or our president or our society, refuse to accept this dominance of Western way of life, American values, Western modern science, and so on, we are regarded as something completely negative, and all the labels possible, all the formulas or pejorative names are applied to us only for one reason, because we refuse universality of the Western civilization and we believe in the plurality of the civilizations. If we understand that there's the only one point, if you accept the positive otherness from the other civilization, we could continue to talk and to explain how Russians today understand the world, United States, the West. If you conserve, if you guard this racist, ethnocentric, Western universalist attitude, so if you are racist, I fear we could not come to no positive conclusion. So in order to understand Russian, actually Russian situation and how Russians see the world, understand, regard the West and ourselves, we need to begin from this essential point. If we recognize to the Russian the possibility to be other, and if we understand the legitimaity of this claim. If yes, we could continue. If no, I'm sorry, but we could not go further.